Thank you guys for coming to this final installation of this multi-workshop series that we've been putting on across the U.S. Chris Hale, our first speaker and fellow oil spill outreach team member, is going to tell you a little bit more about the background. But I did want to welcome you all here. So Chris Hale is from Texas Sea Grant. She's a member of the oil spill outreach team. And she's the lead for all of the workshops around the country and has been to, amazingly, every single one. And that includes Anchorage, and Santa Barbara, and Virginia Beach, and Houma, Louisiana. So she's been nailing down the country talking about this subject.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Missy. Like she said, I am based with Texas Sea Grant in Corpus Christi at A&M. And I thought I'd give you all a little bit of context and background to this whole workshop series, why we're doing it, and why we're here in the room today. You can blame these three entities for that. The Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative, the National Academies of Sciences Gulf Research Program, and of course the Sea Grant Oil Spill Science Outreach Program. We all partnered up to bring this workshop series to you, and I'm going to explain a little bit about each of them, starting with the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative. And I know a few of you are familiar with this, but for those that might not be, GoMRI started in the immediate aftermath of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill of 2010, and basically this was the responsible party's way of delivering funds, investing in research immediately. It has nothing to do with settlements or other types of money that you've heard about over the years. This was immediately handed over to a 20-member independent academic research board. And so those folks became GoMRI, and they oversee, along with the help of Gulf of Mexico Alliance, how to distribute those research funds to researchers. And those researchers tasked with understanding impacts on those 5 focus areas. How do oil dispersants move around the environment? How do oil dispersants impact the environment? And how do they impact human health? And how do oil dispersants break down over time? And how can technology be improved both to understand the research oil impacts, but also how to improve technology so we can do a better job of responding to the spills? And so since 2010, there has been an unprecedented amount of oil spill related research coming out of GoMRI and other scientists as well. And again, nothing of this quantity has been seen in the Gulf of Mexico before. And so the question then became, how do I get this science and information to the people that need it to make decisions or to improve their livelihoods? So Sea Grant came to GoMRI and proposed a formal outreach program. And so we became the Gulf of Mexico Oil Spill Science Outreach Program. And so this is a partnership between the Sea Grant programs in the Gulf. Again, I'm with Texas Sea Grant. Emily is based in Baton Rouge with Louisiana Sea Grant. Steve and Tara are based in Ocean Springs with the Mississippi Alabama Sea Grant Consortium. Missy is with Mobile, part of the Mississippi Alabama Sea Grant Consortium, and we've got Monica over there in St. Pete's with Florida Sea Grant. And taken together, we have a variety of backgrounds and experience and expertise. We've got oceanographer in there, we've got ecotoxicologist, human dimensions, fisheries, ecology, communications, and program management. And so that diverse group of people, our team, that is on purpose because we are addressing diverse needs, diverse questions, diverse concerns in the Gulf of Mexico and beyond. So we need a variety of different expertise in order to be able to understand both the people that have those questions as well as the science pertaining to those topics. And so we've been working together since 2014. And we started out by first trying to get a better understanding of what our target audience's needs are. So we don't do just general outreach where we just put stuff out there and hope somebody reads our stuff. We work specifically with target audiences and understand what their needs are. And so this is a list of the groups of people that we work with. Many of you, all of you hopefully fall into one of those categories. And we spent time early on having one-on-one meetings, small group meetings, large group sessions to gather input, get feedback from folks to understand what their questions are and what their needs are. And that helps us because it informs us my team in what we give back, how we deliver our science. And so primarily we focus on the traditional oil spill science extension publications, which is what you saw on display as you came in the room today. We have a lot of different topics, but basically this is a way for us, my team, to go to the peer-reviewed academic journal articles, access them, pull out the key main points, key findings, and then turn around and repackage it and write it in a way that everybody can understand. A lot of our audiences don't have access to science. They don't have the time, or sometimes even the background to understand statistical methodology and all that. So that's what our team does. The other way we get our science out there is through sessions like this, seminars and workshops. We invite the experts, the emergency responders, resource managers, and scientists into the room to talk with our audiences directly, so that our audiences have a chance to ask them their questions, and we facilitate those conversations. And my team also uses moments like these to continue to collect input from our audiences to make sure we're still current and up to date with what your needs and interests are. We're also working on a variety of other outreach products, short videos, because people don't read as much anymore, so we like to post our short videos online, and other visualizations and web resources. That third partner I mentioned, the Gulf Research Program, they came into existence also in the aftermath of Deepwater Horizon around 2013. The Gulf Research Program focuses on protecting human health and protecting the environment. They fund a lot of activities, fellowships, and other things directed towards monitoring, research, and again, focusing on protecting human health. And that leads us to our workshop series here. But in 2017, the National Academies Gulf Research Program hosted a workshop in Washington, D.C. And they invited a whole bunch of experts in emergency response, in industry, and in public health research to get together to try to identify what needs there are related to improving preparedness for oil spills. Sounds familiar, kind of like what we're doing today. Except that they were up there in DC, a lot of experts in the room, that's great, they had a lot of wonderful ideas. That's a picture of the report that came out of it. But one of the biggest needs identified at that workshop in 2017 was that we need to better understand what the needs are regionally. What's happening in the Gulf of Mexico is not what's happening in Alaska, it's not what's happening over on the East Coast, it's not what's happening on the West Coast. So they talked a lot about how to identify those needs, and of course, they said we need to work with local organizations, and Sea Grant was raised as one potential partner in order to do that. Thus, we partnered up with the Gulf Research Program and continue to partner with the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative, and we put together this plan for this workshop series. And as Missy mentioned earlier, we've been all over doing the same thing with communities in other regions. And what's been vital is that Sea Grant has been able to partner with other Sea Grant programs in other parts of the nation in order to get access to communities so we can communicate directly with them. We worked with Alaska Sea Grant, we worked with Virginia Sea Grant, we worked with University of Southern California Sea Grant, and here with our Sea Grant programs in the Gulf, because Sea Grant continually works with communities. So this is the last workshop in this series, and yes, I'm very excited that it's almost over, but not because it's almost over, because we have a lot of really wonderful input and feedback that we've been collecting, and so all of our partners in all these regions are busily working to organize and synthesize all of that information that we've collected from our communities, and we're putting it all into reports and delivering it back to our communities. One really important part of this, though, is that the main reason we're doing this is that we need to get your input down on paper in those reports. And if we do that, then we can deliver that information back to the funding organizations that want to streamline that money back to you, to your community. They want to make it relevant and useful to you. They want to help improve preparedness and response related to oil spills and other man-made disasters. But they want to make sure that it's a need that you are expressing. So we're working to get that information down in those reports. And at the very end, there'll be one big grand finale report that we're going to put out there to all of our partners and to the public, everyone can read them, that will be focused on these outcomes. So these are the things that we're going to be talking about for the next couple of days. And at the top, you see there, we want to hear from you, your suggestions on protocols to include in existing response and regulatory frameworks. And if you're thinking, I don't know what that means, don't worry, we've got Mike here, he's going to explain what that framework looks like and what those protocols are. And that should hopefully give you a foundation for productive conversation and discussion. Also, we want to hear what your pilot project ideas are. And this is not like a formalized idea that you might have already in the works. Any ideas. We're taking any ideas, we're writing them down on paper. Research and outreach priorities are woven into those pilot projects. What kind of research is needed here in the Eastern Gulf region? What kind of outreach effort is needed? What resources exist that identify or address the identified needs here in the Eastern Gulf? What organizations, partners, anything? What resources are here currently, and what resources don't you have? We will be writing all of that down and collecting that information. And of course, we hope that you foster new connections, new partnerships as a result of participating in this workshop. And over the long term, I'll be tracking that. You'll be hearing from me later on in the year with a survey to follow up and see, what's come of you, what kind of new projects are you involved in, have you applied for funding, and so on. So we really want this to be useful to you. This is not just a one and done thing. We're creating a relationship with you, and we're going to be following up with you to see what's happened and what's changed. If you have any questions about any of what's going on in the next 2 days, or what's happened at any of the other workshops we've been doing, come tap me on the shoulder, send me an email, call me anytime. I'd love to hear from you. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Missy to have our fun little exercise and get our minds stopped.
Thanks, Chris. We're going to have you go to this website, www.menti.com, MENTI.com. Once you're there, when I pull up the presentation for the icebreaker, there's going to be a code at the top that then we'll enter, and we'll go through the questions. So as I wait for it, I'm going to pull the slide down. You're going to answer the questions, and you're going to watch it all come flowing into you in vivid color. So the code is 990857. We just have 3 short questions, trying to get a feel of where you guys are at. Ding, U.S. Coast Guard. Most of y'all know that, which is great. I know that we saw the survey done in Virginia Beach. Not everybody knew that. You're going to hear a lot more about that from our presenters this morning, but it is the U.S. Coast Guard. Now this one. How many spills that were responded to using NOAA resources? How many spills were in the Gulf of Mexico in the past 18 months or 12 months since last May? 63. Most of y'all got that one. Again, this is according to at least resources on. You look at oil spill response, NOAA or something like that. There's an incident map that'll come up. You can get actual data on our incidents in the Gulf of Mexico and around the country. And that's where I pulled that statistic from. Well done, everyone. The last one is a fun one. It's a word cloud. In 3 words or less, say 3 words or less because it's going to be a word cloud. What are your biggest concerns right now about oil spill impacts? Okay, look at that. That's amazing. So it looks like a lot of focus on the environment, provided that this is how these things actually work. More people detect it in, it's bigger. Health and wildlife, so those are really important, but we see other things like lack of awareness, social impacts, public health, planning, dead zones, okay? You got safety, jobs, damage to fisheries, damage to tourism. Those are all things that we're going to be talking about today. The social and economic impacts, impacts to human health. What does the impact to the environment mean to our communities, especially those communities that rely on the environment for their health, for their economic stability? So thank y'all for participating.